All right, what's up, community stepping stones? How you guys doing? Good! Yeah! Good to see you guys on this Saturday morning. So my name is John Jacobs. I work with Tampa News Force. That's an independent journalism corporation that we started, which is not only news, but also entertainment. And what we have here today is a group of other entertainers, actors, who have been in TV and movies, and have done stuff all over the world. The first guy we have here, his name is Josh Rivera. He starred on a show called The Resident, which was on Fox. We have DuJuan. He was on Chicago PD. And we have Aniria, and she was on Chicago Med, and she was in a Netflix movie with Damon Wayans. So Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans, not Damon Wayans. So very cool stuff. I personally have been on 2 MTV reality shows, one called Are You the One and one called The Challenge. And what we're going to do here, we're just going to talk about our experiences. And, you know, we're trying to let you guys know everything you would need to know to get into the entertainment industry. You know, if you're interested in being in movies and TV, you know, maybe we can help push you in the right direction for how to do something like that. I'm a comedian as well, as I'm sure you can tell from my hair. But yeah, you can't have this hair in pretty much any other job. That's why entertainment is cool, because you get to just be yourself and make art. Do you guys have any questions about reality television? Yeah. What's your name?
It's Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, yeah. What's your question?
And how does reality TV work?
How does it work? Well, it's just a few cameras like this one roving around a house. And, you know, if there's drama going on, they'll follow that. You know, reality TV, they really like drama. They really like excitement. So if people are yelling at each other, you know, the cameras get close to them. So people on the shows will act more dramatic just because they want to be on TV. So there is people acting even though it's just supposed to be reality. So that's kind of how it works. And then they just cut the craziest stuff out of, you know, the full month of filming. Yeah, what's your question?
Do y'all have fun while y'all doing it?
Oh, I definitely had fun. Yeah, we filmed for about 45 days in Hawaii, and it was all expenses paid, free food, free drink. And yeah, it's like spring break. They like you to be liquored up a little bit. They want you to be drunk because they know you're going to, you know, go a little crazy. But, you know, I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm just saying that's kind of what the process was.
Hello, everyone.
Josh Rivera, everybody.
Josh Rivera.
Hi, Mr. Josh.
Thank you. Good to be here. My first job was on The Resident on Fox, which is a medical drama. Maybe your parents watch it, or if you like medical dramas too.
When you made your first movie, were you when you're acting in first movie, were you shy?
I was, yeah, my very first one. I was pretty nervous.
How'd you get over those nerves?
I'm not too sure. I think just what helped for me, because my part was one line, so I knew it's not like the episode was riding on my performance per se. So that helps to take a lot of the pressure off. And on TV, I don't think they do this in reality, but maybe they might. But on TV, they do a lot of takes. They do the same scene over and over and over again. And that does kind of help you to settle into it and calm your nerves. Yeah.
Like, how old do you gotta be to start, like, movies or something like that?
You can be as young as you want to. You could start right now. There's, child actors. Yeah, no, I'm serious. There's child actors in the business. It's pretty cool. You know, they get to be away from school.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy stuff that people do in movies, do y'all actually do it when you act the movie?
You're talking about like stunts, and they have. I haven't really done much stunt work. They do have other people who are better at destroying things and throwing themselves off of things. If you like doing that, that's another. No, I'm sure your mom would appreciate you not doing that too. But yeah, they usually have other people who will do that.
In cop movies, do they actually shoot people?
You want to, since you did Chicago people, that over to you.
He's from Chicago PD?
Yeah.
So basically the way it works, it's one of those stunt deals where they have prop guns and all those sort of things. That's a part of just being in the industry, learning how to fake take shots and fake fall and all that good stuff. So That's pretty much how they did that.
I heard that when they use guns in movies, they use blank guns.
Yeah, it's like they consider them prop guns or whatnot. Like they look and they feel like real guns, but they either like CO2 cartridges or they just look like it. They don't actually shoot at all.
What do they use to make it look like a real blood?
A lot of effects. If it's actually on set where they are actually shooting you, they'll use effects. But then sometimes like they'll cut in between and they'll have like chocolate syrup, red dye, and honey, and they'll mix it all together and make it look like fake blood, and they'll just put it on you.
As much as I love Chicago PD, how in the world does, like, the boss of the company get so angry?
She's talking about Jason. Detective Voight is a weird guy. In real life, he talks like that in real life, by the way. Like that's literally how he sounds. But in real life, he's like Aniria. He's really funny and jovial. But as soon as he says action, it's like he's a whole different guy. And I think that that's a part of how he built that character, or how they described the character to him, and he just went with it to be like that grizzled, ornery, upset kind of dude, and he just goes with it. Go ahead.
I wonder, have you ever had someone die in Chicago PD?
On the episode that I was on, I wasn't there when they filmed that part of it, but it was like 4 people that actually died in the show. Everybody thought I was the person who killed them. I did not, by the way. If you get a chance to see the episode, don't think that I was the killer. I was innocent. I was innocent.
Are you
I
sure?
was not guilty.
Are you,
I'm very sure. I read the script.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure. Like Chris, as soon as I walked in, side note, as soon as I walked in and I was like, hey, I was on Chicago PD, like 4 people came up to me and say, so you were the robber, right? First of all, no. I don't know if you guys are age appropriate for Chicago PD.
I watch it.
Oh. Oh, okay. All right.
I think we're done. Yeah, this is your show now.
NCIS is better.
Ah! Well,
It's better.
it is, according to the ratings.
Oh, according to the ratings?
Do you like jam on your peanut butter?
Absolutely. Who doesn't like a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
I hate peanut butter.
How you guys artists and y'all not peanut butter and jelly?
I like jelly, but not peanut butter. I say jelly.
it's a jelly crowd.
Could we ever do could we ever act out like something like with cops or something?
Could you ever do that?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I think a lot of the times, especially now in TV, like they try to make it as close to real life as possible. Like when you have situations that come up, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Tamir Rice and all those kind of situations. They take a lot of those incidents that happen in the news and try to make a real situation from it to be on TV. And sometimes you get the same outcome that happened with Tamir Rice, and sometimes you get a different outcome where there is a bigger lesson or a bigger moral to be told. So I'm gonna let you go.
When the police put him in handcuffs, where do they take him?
In real life?
In real life?
No, in movie.
Well, when they put you in cuffs on TV, they call cut afterwards. And
Yeah, they stop it after that.
they call cut,
Yeah,
and
they
then
don't push you too hard.
they take it off, and then you move on to the next scene. So
Lots of questions. Yeah, what about right up front? We haven't heard.
Have you ever watched Blue Bloods?
have I ever watched what?
Seen Blue Bloods?
Oh, the TV show.
Yeah,
No,
the TV show.
I've never seen the show Blue Bloods. I've auditioned for it twice.
So, in Chicago PD, how do they make these mysterious acts, and then when they finally find the person that they're looking for, they're dead laying on the ground?
Dang, well, she really watched Chicago PD.
On the show.
Like, she watched more Chicago PD than I do. Basically, so it's like that's a writer's deal. So like basically, a writer has come up with a concept, and you want to add this drama element to something, you leave a story with hanging. So that's pretty much how they do it. Like they'll take you down a path and they'll follow a character. Then all of a sudden, they was like, yo, you know what? We want to keep these people suspended a little while longer. So let's just kill this person off, and so you don't know what happened. Or let's make something happen that wouldn't normally happen, because you normally track and you go down a certain path and you start to predict that they're going to do X, Y, and Z. And as soon as you do that, that's when they normally change it, because they want to keep you, on your toes.
So basically, they are like somehow they're giving you a concept to play, and when they finally play it, it's not like you expected.
That way. Facts.
Totally.
When they go in the hospital, do they actually go to a real hospital?
Oh.
Do they go to a real hospital, Aniria?
Well, I was on Chicago Med, which is the same set that they use on Chicago PD. So if you've ever watched Chicago PD, they'll have the crime part, and then the people, like you said, get shot and go to the hospital. They use the same set. It's not an actual hospital. It's actually almost like, it's called a set, which is like a stage. And there's walls, but there's really no ceilings. Some have ceilings. There's a lot of open space, so it can fit, like you see here, the camera crew and the mic operators. And they have, they even have, it's all in a building. And even when you see, yeah, like a giant warehouse. And they have, even when the ambulance comes in and you see the emergency people coming out of the ambulance, rushing, they're really all just inside of a building pretending to come in from the outside. Yes?
Chicago PD, when the police pistol whip somebody, do they actually hit them with the gun?
What is that? A pistol whip? I've never seen anybody get pistol whipped on Chicago PD. I don't think I have, anyway.
CRF, they got pistol whipped.
Yeah,
But they didn't really pistol whip them.
yeah,
That's
it's all part of the acting and
Called
the stunts part of it. So, yeah. What's up, Bobby?
I have a question for him.
Oh, JJ.
Have you ever dropped the mic on somebody's head before?
I'm about to.
If someone gets shot like in their chest or get stabbed in their chest, how don't they die?
Because it's acting.
Yeah, but you say they try to make it real.
They do. They try to make it seem real.
Yeah.
I
mean, they can't.
You can't kill
they
people.
Can't stab people.
Yeah, that's
In movies.
called murder.
And I do want to say that makes for an interesting lunch, because a lot of times the actors look like they're dead, but then they say, cut, time for lunch. Sorry, time for lunch. And then you have to sit there. And I remember that the guy that played my son got run over by a car. So he looked like he got run over by a car. And the girl is sitting at the lunch table, and the girl that played his girlfriend, she's like, I cannot sit here and eat next to him because he looks so gross. So those makeup effects and everything makes for a very interesting lunch.
Why does math involve everything that you do in your life?
Because you know why? Because everything, first of all, nothing's free, right? So money, you got to know math, right? To know how much things cost and how much money you have left.
Plus, for acting and stuff, you might do a scene where they'll say, this whole scene should last about 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So in your head, you kind of need to be keeping a mental note of how long you've been talking, how long this line is. So, yeah, math, plays into everything.
Yeah. How many miles you have to drive, and how much is it going to cost per mile to get to Atlanta where you have to go film? Because nothing's going on in Florida. Not that I'm bitter, but.
And the thing about, also the other cool thing about math is this. Math isn't just counting and situational awareness. It's also angles. It's like having that body compass of knowing where you're at in space and time and doing those kind of things. So there are a lot of times where that in one of the scenes that I did on Chicago PD, it was an action scene where I had to move around and have spatial awareness. So that's one of the really cool things about having that kind of a math background, and let you know that because what they ended up doing was changing my marks in one of the scenes because of the different shot that they wanted to be in. And it was just something as simple as a step or two to the left or a step or two to the right. And it helps in that situation too, is that spatial awareness.
What's a mark?
Oh, a mark is, so basically like a mark would be like a set place where they want you to land for a specific reason.
Are y'all like doing math like all the time? Yeah.
Oh no, I wouldn't say all the time. I'm terrible at math. I know nothing. Yeah, I mean, I personally reading. I'm not even great at reading either. I know. Well, I was on reality TV. It's not quite the same.
You know when they do stunts and stuff, when they accidentally fall and hurt themselves, do they get a disability check?
They do get some sort of compensation, I'm sure. It's never happened to me, thankfully.
If you had some kind of cancer, like say colon cancer or something, and you didn't know, and you started acting, if you got very, very hurt, would you be very, very surprised? Like very surprised?
You're asking me personally if I found out that I had cancer, if I got very hurt?
For anyone, if they found out that they had like colon cancer or kidney cancer or something like that, if they went into the hospital and found out that, do you think they would be very, very surprised? Because if they knew and they didn't do anything about it, I would be surprised.
Yeah, I would definitely be surprised too. It's kind of always shocking news, I think. But there's.
You'd probably get checked before the filming. Usually, most TV shows they'll make you have take a physical. Mm-hmm. Usually, they make sure you're healthy enough to record. So they'd probably have a blood test before you ever did something like that. But so odds are you would know what was wrong before you were actually just on a set.
So my leg, it's either my right leg or my left leg, but it's shorter than. It is. I think it's my right leg, but it's shorter than my left leg. So if I were to go on TV, if I were to go on TV, would they play me a part where somebody had a shorter leg than their other leg?
I don't think so, unless it was really noticeable. But one of my legs is longer than the other two.
Yeah.
And, it's never caused a problem for me.
It's funny that you say that because me and Aniria have a friend who's been in a bunch of stuff, and he has that exact same thing going on, but you would never know it if you saw him. Like, if you saw him on film, on TV, you'll be like, oh, I didn't know that and it's like noticeable. It's like a good 2 or 3 inches difference.
You guys ever seen the movie Max about the dog?
Yes.
The bad sheriff?
Yeah.
Oh, that's who he's talking about.
Yeah.
He has the same issue.
That's why he was walking crippled.
Like Chicago PD or NICS. Oh, yeah, that part. And they jumped on an electrical fence and it got shocked. And were they really hurt? Or?
No, I mean, so it's funny because a lot of the times, like, what makes an actor really good is being able to tie something to something that's actually already happened in their life before, kind of deal. So I personally have never been shocked before, but I've seen enough videos. I know enough effects from being shocked happen. So when you get ready to jump on the fence or whatever, they'll be like, hey, this is a shocking fence. And you'll just basically have to act out like as if you were shocked.
Well, what do they do on commercial when you're watching Chicago PD?
Oh, okay. So the show is already filmed.
Why are there shows that sometimes has inappropriate stuff? It's part of storytelling because as you get older, you're going to go through experiences that kids don't ever experience. And it's not that they want to be bad or anything like that, but, it's like when you murder somebody on TV. I mean, is that inappropriate?
No.
It's not inappropriate. Nobody likes murder, right? Nobody likes murder. But if you're telling, just like when you do art and you tell a story and it's about how you feel or maybe an experience you had, that's why sometimes there's shows that are inappropriate, but kids don't get to watch it because you're not going to understand it. You're too young. You haven't had those experiences.
But I listened to a song
And then he always be saying, I got murdered on my mind.
Yeah.
How do you make a zombie from the TV show?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, from the story perspective, you know, they're normal people. They get bit by other zombies, right? And they turn into zombies. So what they do is there's a professional makeup people that make it look like, I mean, you look, yeah. And they work magic. I don't know anything about how to do that, but there's people that can make that happen with makeup.
How do people roll their eyes?
How do people roll their eyes?
Yeah, like roll their eyes, like a zombie.
Oh, yeah, in the back of your head. Yeah, that's a tough skill some people can do. You know, the Undertaker does it in WWE. You can do it? You can roll it? You want to show? Yeah, let's see. Oh, nice. Just doing it right there. Okay, you can do it. Okay, so some people can do it, some people can't.
She said when one leg is taller than the other, like when the zombies be walking, do they use like some people like that?
Well, that could be a perfect role for somebody who has a physical disability.
And
You
then
could be
they
a
walk
zombie.
or
That's a good thing.
So, my mom once told me that she got hurt in the army when she was younger, and when they cured her, they said the next time that it happens, okay, so they were like, we're already gonna give you the virus because she had a virus, so they said we're already gonna give you the virus so you don't get the virus. So is it like if you're sick, is it to go away? Is it a small production of the virus that your immune system brings up, so it's introducing.
So you're talking about being vaccinated?
Well, yeah, our other camera guy right here, Matt, he was actually in medical school, so he can actually answer that question for you guys if you want to talk for a second. Matt, yeah, come here.
Okay. Yeah, so your mom got what's called a vaccination. Have you guys ever gotten a flu shot, or did you get shots at school? Yeah. Okay, so there's stuff called like measles, mumps, and rubella. Have you guys heard of those before? The measles and mumps and stuff like that. So what they do is they take a virus, and then they take all the bad stuff out of it, okay? And then they put it in you so your body can go, hey, I know what that is. That's bad. Now we're going to attack it and get rid of it. So it's helping protect you, but they're not giving you the real virus. It's kind of like giving you the shell so your body can go, hey, I know what that is. It doesn't belong here, and it gets rid of it. That's what they gave your mom. Yeah.
Have they ever put you in handcuffs?
Handcuffs? No, not me personally. Definitely could happen in the future. It could, and I think I'll be ready for that day. I think I'll be able to deliver on being handcuffed.
Why do people kill animals? Like rhinos, the last rhino in the
Why do people kill animals? You mean in movies or in real? Yeah, in movies.
No, I like in real life.
In real life, why do people kill animals? Oh man, yeah, for food is one. People hunt sometimes. They like that. They consider it a sport. I don't think it's a good thing to ever hurt an animal in any way. I guess cows, we got to eat burgers if you want. But yeah, in movies, if they kill an animal, they don't actually hurt the animal, and usually it's to invoke a very strong emotion of hate against that person.
And before we leave, I want to take a picture with you guys.
Yeah, you guys want to all come up here with us? Yeah, come up here with us. Pictures. Woo! Chicago PD resident. Netflix. Yeah, you can hold the mic, Bobby. Talking to the mic. It's still on.
It's still on.
It's still
on.
Yeah. I can't.
What's up?
Testing. What's up?
We're live. What's up, guys? Chicago PD.
Chicago PD.
Go crazy. Everybody go crazy.
Tune in on the next episode of Tampa News Force. We're on it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Peace out.
Thanks, man.